Hey guys, it's Achilles here. I know I'm at pest control right now, and that has completely nothing to do with the video title. But if you wait, you will find the method to my madness. I honestly just need something in the background. Pest control is what I do when I have nothing better to do. Anyways, so I've been asked this question a lot. What is the best boss to kill multiple times for monetary gains? Now, my answer to that question is going to be kind of a list type thing. Now I'm assuming that you all can do any boss efficiently. So I was going to discuss that really quick. And I was actually going to give a little insights, like, medium level PVM and low level PVM, and like just starting out PVM. So, the number one boss overall, I would say is Virago. Now, some people might argue Araxor. I've honestly never done Araxor successfully and efficiently for multiple kills, so I put Virago as number one. I mean, Virago is a easy boss once you learn the mechanics. I know mechanics do take time to learn, and it's not just something you can do overnight. I understand that. I'm not being like, hey, I'm not trying to be that guy that's like, yeah, how can you not do Virago? Virago is so easy. I am not going for that right now, but I mean, you just have to look at its drops. It drops the seismic wand and the singularity. I mean, these are very high dollar drops. It also has pretty good small loots. Maybe even if you were to venture into hard mode, you can. It's only a 1 in 10 chance for a wand. A wand worth, I think, a ridiculous amount of money. So that's why I brought that out there. Now my number two would be Araxor. Like I said, this is like high level stuff. I would say Araxor. Do the spider legs drops and the attachments to make your noxious staff, noxious scythe, and noxious longbow. And I think it's a good boss. I honestly really can't say much, but that's from what I hear. Also, another nice thing about Araxor is it's a solo boss. Why do I mention that it's a solo boss? Quite frankly, it's a nice boss to do because it's soloable. You don't have to have a team. You don't have to worry about being scammed in a free-for-all situation, or hey, you die. It's a solo boss, and honestly, like the idea. I was honestly happy with Jagex, and they made Araxor a solo boss. Now you can do it, from what I understand, but you can efficiently solo it. But that's number two. My number three boss, I would put. This is more into that like mid-level PVM I'm talking about. I would start out with Nex. And here's why I mentioned Nex. Nex can be duoed, it can be soloed, it can be trioed. You can have effectively as many people as you want at Nex. Nex has a reasonable drop rate as compared to other bosses, and I think that's what makes Nex so desirable to do, personally. So I just think that it's just honestly next to my favorite boss. You know, I've done bosses like Virago, but I think Nex is better. Now, if any of you are wondering, why didn't I mention Rise of the Six? And Rise of the Six, I'll touch on that later, but anyway, so my number 4 boss would be Calcite King. Very easy boss, very easy to get to if you've completed Desert Treasure. I just don't like Calcite King personally, but I think it's very close to the level of Nex, monetary wise and difficulty wise. So just keep that in mind. And then what's my number 5 boss? I honestly put a lot of thought into this. I was trying to determine between Queen Black Dragon and I was trying to decide between Queen Black Dragon and the Barrow's hard mode, because I think, you know, Barrow's hard mode, the drops are bad. However, its small drops are alright. So I honestly went with Barrow's hard mode as my number 5. And I think it's sad because the shields are so worthless for the boss you have to fight. I mean, they're only a few mil now. It's sad. And I'm just not a fan of that. I mean, the small drops are good, however, which made me put ahead of Queen Black Dragon, but I think Jagex needs to do something about the shields. Shields to make them go back up. And I'm going to touch on that in a later video, probably in the next video, but... So, then I have Queen Black Dragon. Now, why Queen Black Dragon over God Wars dungeon bosses? This was easy for me. If you do Queen Black Dragon very well, you can easily make hundreds of mil an hour. Well, not hundreds of mil, but you can make hundreds, not an hour, but... sorry. You can make a good 10 mil an hour if you kill it solo, if you kill it efficiently. Sorry if I get sidetracked here. This pest control is distracting the living shit out of me right now, but yeah, you can make quite a bit of GP per hour with QBD, and its drops are pretty reliable. Now it does have a couple, like, you know, drops that'll make you really happy, like you know, the dragon kite, and most importantly the visage. It's a shame that both those items are worthless, but idea of QBD, if you ask me, is reliable loots. And I think that's what makes QBD such a good boss to do for everybody. I mean, not many bosses you can do that effectively for that long. And then that takes me down to God Wars dungeon bosses. I was just going to stick the God Wars dungeon bosses in there, but I'm starting to look at it now like, hey, maybe maybe I'll rank them. And now I'm starting to get into that low-level PVM. And the reason for that being low-level PVM, God Wars Dungeon is quite easy, in my opinion. But I know I'm using elite gear. But if you're a low-level guy, you know, you want to team up with a couple guys. You know, go do Bandos, Ceradome, and Armadillo, Samrock. You know, those bosses, and I'm gonna rank them. So, you know, my number 1 God Wars dungeon boss, I would do Commander Ziliana, simply because it's got the best. It's got the best drop there, being the Ceradon God Sword. I mean, you gotta look at God Wars Dungeon loot. I would honestly venture and say that. I think Zillion is just the best, monetarily wise. Number 2 for me would be Krill Sutharoth, Zamrock General. I think he has the best small drops of all of them, which is why I put him there. Then 3, I would have Krayara, because I think Krayara's drops are better than Bandos' drops. Granted, it is a more difficult boss, I would say. And then lastly, Bandos. Bandos is easy. It's really easy. It's good for low levels, you know, especially if you just want to get into bossing and you don't know where to start. I think Bandos is a great place to start, you know, when you're trying to move up. And then what's below that? And there's King Black Dragon, which I think is, you know, your entry-level PVM. King Black Dragon, I think is best for entry-level PVM because it's really close to a bank. It does not have that big of a degree of difficulty. So that's why I have it there. And then I have you have a giant mole. Barrows Brothers. All I think are a very easy boss. The hardest thing about Barrows is, to me, in my opinion, is getting there. Other than that, I think are pretty easy. Anyway, that's kind of like my ranking now. I want you guys to be clear on one thing. That's like the best overall. I recommend, honestly, I think the best way to boss is to do the bosses you enjoy to do most. And that's why I do so much next. Because it's just a boss I enjoy to do, and I don't think that'll ever change. So anyway, that's my video for today, guys. I hope you have an awesome time on Runescape, and as always, happy scaping.